Only 60 minutes, massive pressure. Could this be the defining moment of Jungkook's new era? On the 21st of March 2026, all eyes will be on one stage in Seoul. BTS has officially announced BTS The Comeback Live Arirang, a one-hour comeback event scheduled for 8 p.m. KST at Gwanghwamun Square. The concert will be free, with mandatory reservation via NOL ticket and organized by Big Hit Music under Hybe. 60 minutes. For a group returning as a full unit after military service, that duration feels both symbolic and strategic, and at the center of that anticipation stands Jungkook. The timing raises the stakes. The group's comeback album drops just one day earlier, meaning this live event will serve as the first large-scale public performance of their new era. In modern K-pop, first impressions are not just important, they shape global narrative momentum. Streaming numbers, press coverage, social media virality, and international headlines will all crystallize within hours of that stage. A single hour could define the tone of 2026. For Jungkook in particular, the pressure carries additional weight. Over the past 2 years, he has evolved from group maknae into a fully realized global solo force. His chart dominance and high-profile luxury alignments have expanded his individual brand beyond traditional K-pop frameworks. Now, returning to a full group stage, expectations are layered. Can he balance individual star power with group synergy? Can BTS reassert collective dominance in a market that has shifted rapidly during their hiatus? Can 1 hour reignite a global cycle of cultural momentum? The choice of Gwanghwamun Square adds another dimension. Located near Gyeongbokgung Palace, the venue carries national symbolism. It blends tradition with public accessibility, mirroring the Arirang theme, which evokes Korean cultural heritage. By staging their comeback there, BTS is not merely launching new music. They are visually anchoring their return in national identity. And yet, the brevity remains a talking point. Fans online have expressed mixed emotions, excitement over the reunion, curiosity about the setlist, and surprise that the event lasts only 60 minutes. In a touring era where concerts often stretch beyond 2 hours, 1 hour feels concise. But that conciseness may be intentional. Short, high-impact showcases are designed for digital virality. In the streaming era, moments matter more than duration. A tightly curated 1 hour broadcast, potentially distributed globally through streaming platforms, can concentrate attention, drive replay value, and maximize media amplification. Every performance, every transition, every camera angle becomes deliberate. There is no room for filler. For Jungkook, this may be the most critical test of his post-military positioning. His solo success elevated him into a different commercial stratosphere. Now, he returns to a collective stage that once defined his entire identity. The balance he strikes between standout presence and seamless integration will subtly signal the direction of BTS's next chapter. If the performance feels cohesive and explosive, it reinforces the narrative that BTS remains structurally dominant in 2026. If it feels fragmented or overly centered on individual momentum, critics may question the recalibration of group dynamics. That is the invisible pressure embedded within those 60 minutes. But pressure has historically sharpened BTS rather than weakened them. Their previous comeback stages have often functioned as cultural resets, moments that realign global attention and reestablish hierarchy within the industry. In an era where new acts have risen during their absence, this comeback is not merely celebratory, it is strategic. 1 hour can recalibrate market perception. 1 hour can redirect streaming ecosystems. 1 hour can reignite worldwide touring demand. For Jungkook, it may also define whether his next era is primarily solo-driven, group-driven, or a hybrid model that allows both identities to coexist without competition. The question is no longer whether BTS can return. The question is how decisively they return. And when the clock starts ticking at 8 p.m. KST, those 60 minutes may become more than just a concert. They may become a statement. What makes this comeback even more delicate is the psychological atmosphere surrounding it. Absence reshapes perception. During BTS's hiatus, the global music landscape continued evolving. New 4th and 5th generation groups expanded internationally. Western pop cycles accelerated. Streaming competition intensified. Algorithms shifted. Audience attention fragmented. In that context, a comeback is not simply about returning, it is about re-establishing authority. For Jungkook, the stakes are uniquely layered. His solo trajectory positioned him as a standalone global figure, capable of topping charts independently. That individual elevation subtly changes group dynamics in the public eye. When a member achieves massive solo visibility, audiences begin recalibrating expectations. Will the group feel different? Will internal roles shift? Will stage presence redistribute? These questions do not imply instability, but they amplify scrutiny. In high-profile comebacks, perception is often shaped within the first few performances. Stage chemistry, vocal balance, screen time, and audience reaction all become micro-signals interpreted at scale across social media. A single standout moment can dominate global discourse. A minor misalignment can trigger disproportionate narratives. And this is where the 6-0 minute structure becomes strategically interesting. A shorter showcase forces intensity. There is limited space for experimental pacing. Every transition must feel intentional. Every performance must carry narrative weight. In effect, it transforms the concert into a condensed brand statement. If executed flawlessly, brevity becomes power. It can project confidence, suggesting that BTS does not need 3 hours to prove dominance, that a tightly structured hour is enough to command global headlines. For Jungkook personally, this stage may represent a subtle repositioning moment. His solo work leaned heavily into Western pop aesthetics and global market targeting. Returning to a full group performance under the Arirang theme symbolically reconnects him to Korean cultural roots within a collective framework. That contrast could be powerful. It reminds audiences that individual expansion did not dilute group identity, it strengthened it. There is also the matter of narrative timing. The album release just 1 day prior means the concert functions as an immediate visual translation of new music. First, live performances often shape how songs are perceived long-term. Choreography, styling, staging, and live vocal execution can elevate tracks beyond their studio versions. If one performance goes viral, particularly a Jungkook-led high note, dance break, or closing speech, it could define the era's emotional core. In modern pop cycles, eras are built around moments, not just albums. A single clip circulating globally can anchor months of discourse. BTS has historically mastered this dynamic. The question now is whether they can recreate that ignition effect in a post-hiatus landscape. Yet there is another layer beneath strategy: emotion. This is their first large-scale comeback stage as a complete group after mandatory service. That alone carries symbolic weight. The reunion narrative itself can generate resonance beyond technical performance. Audience reaction, both in person at Gwanghwamun Square and online worldwide, will likely be charged with relief, nostalgia, and renewed anticipation. Emotion often overrides skepticism. And Jungkook, known for his emotional transparency on stage, may once again